It uses God's good commands for its own evil purposes. See, when God's law came in, it's like an X-ray machine. It reveals the things that are hidden. You can't blame the X-ray for what it exposes. God's law set a speed limit so you know exactly how fast you ought to go. If you don't read it, don't see it, you don't know what's around the corner that will help you to understand what you are supposed to be doing. Once God draws a boundary for us, we are immediately enticed to cross that boundary, which is no fault of God or his boundaries, but the fault of our sinful hearts. It's like telling a child, don't touch the stove. The child was like, well, why can't I touch the stove? That curiosity kicks in. You brought it to their attention. And so now before you know it, they're reaching up at the stove and it's hot and it burns them. But the law was already given, right? This is the kind of how our sinful nature is as we're learning God's laws. There's a part of us inside of us asking, why? Or that can't hurt me, will it? To me, it almost seems like the fall of man in the Garden of Eden when Satan asked Eve, did God really say you must not eat the fruit from any of the trees in the garden? So God has given a law or a command or a rule. And this is what sin does. It deceives us because sin falsely promises satisfaction. It falsely claims inadequate excuses, and it falsely promises an escape from punishment. Romans 7:14. So the trouble is not with the law, for it is spiritual and it is good. The trouble is with me, for I am all too human and slave to sin. I don't really understand myself for what I want to do what is right, but I don't do it. Instead, I do what I hate. But if I know that what I am doing is wrong, this shows that I agree that the law is good. So I am the one doing wrong. It is the sin living in me that does it. And now I know that nothing good lives in me, that is, in my sinful nature. I want to do what is right, but I can't. I want to do what is good, but I don't. I don't want to do what is wrong, but I do it anyway. But if I do what I don't want to do, I am not really the one doing wrong. It is sin that is living in me that does it. 21 says, I have discovered this principle of life, that when I want to do what is right, I inevitably do what is wrong. And this is what Paul says in 22, and I believe this applies to all of us. I love God's laws with all of my heart, but there is another power within me that is at war in my mind. And this power makes me a slave to sin. And it's still within me. Nobody is perfect. So is it Paul's problem? Is it a lack of desire? He wants to do what is right. His problem isn't the knowledge. Our problem is not the knowledge. He knows the right thing to do. The problem is the lack of power. He lacks power because the law doesn't give you any power. The law simply lays out the rules, and you better keep them. Here is what you have to do, and I want you all to catch this. Paul is not denying the responsibility of a sinner. We should not deny the responsibility of being sinners, saved by grace. No, he recognized that he is a sinner, and he acts against the nature as a new man in Christ Jesus. A Christian must own up to his sins. yet realizing that the impulse to sin does not come from who we really are in Christ Jesus. That's that battle that we tussle with day in and day out. We know who Christ is. We know we were created in his image. We know he calls us the head and not the tail, above and not beneath. But yet every now and then we get in a situation, and sometimes it's like, we have those two things sitting on your shoulders. One says, do it. The other says, don't do it. Ephesians 6:12 says it like this. For we are not fighting against flesh and blood enemies, but against evil rulers and authorities of the unseen world, against mighty powers in this dark world, and against evil spirits in the heavenly places. There is something warring going on to make you not do what you want to do when you know you shouldn't do it, or do things that you should not be doing.